So if it's not already been on your radar, I would just love to tell the world about this movie and its impact on me. The 2012 film How to Survive a Plague was a documentary. It won the Gotham Award and the GLAAD Award for Best Doc. I think it was nominated for the Academy Award. And you know, I saw this at a time where I was still a Christian, and I was beginning to soften towards some of the bigotry. Okay. And I think at that time, I really had it in my head that homosexuality was a sin, but so was like anger or alcoholism. It was a disease that, you know, was hurting people. And very much my thought process was like trying to help these people who had chosen a bad path, and it was like causing all of these bad and I reject those arguments now, of course, and I frankly apologize for them. But this was very much a part of how I saw the world. And a partner of mine was really passionate about like award shows and things like that. So we would always watch as many of the Oscar-nominated films as we could. And so that kind of tricked us into seeing all of these really great movies that were so eye-opening. Right around the same time that this came out, there was The Kids Are All Right and a few things like that. I think the year after this came out, Dallas Buyers Club came out, which is a dramatization of a lot of the same things that the documentary covers. So, yeah, I'd love to play a clip here just now. This documentary is almost all just home videos and things like this. It's not a bunch of interviews. It's not a bunch of talking heads. It's mostly home footage of people like this getting together and organizing.
This is an ACT UP meeting, right?
This is an ACT UP meeting in New York in '91.
And ACT UP meeting would be
an AIDS advocacy organization.
Gotcha.
I love watching his face here.
Right? This speech here.
We are in the middle of a plague, and you behave like this.
Watching that rage build.
Plague!
Everyone goes silent.
You know, this
30 million infected people is a plague. We are in the worst shape we have ever been in. All those pills we're shoveling down our throats, forget it. ACT UP has been taken over by a lunatic fringe. They can't get together. Nobody agrees with anything. All we can do is field a couple of hundred people at a demonstration. That's not going to make anybody pay attention.
Rough time.
Not until we get millions out there. We can't do that. All we do is pick at each other and yell at each other. And
Just the humanity on his face, you know?
The same thing I said to you in 1981 when there were 41 cases. Until we get our acts together,
looking at all the faces of the people listening to him.
We are as good as dead.
Yeah, that speech right there impacted me so much because this was not a, professional commentator. This wasn't part of the liberal media, trying to push an agenda. These were human beings who were literally trying to figure out how to survive a plague. And they did that by organizing. They did that by being incredibly passionate. They did that through desperation. They did that through any means necessary. And I mean, not just gay rights, but anybody who's been affected by the virus, anybody who's had any kind of major medical concern has been impacted by the way that the laws were changed, the way we do medical research now. I mean, the ripples that came from ACT UP and everything that they did in the 80s cannot be overstated.
Oh, yeah.
And being just exposed to that, there's another gripping scene in the film where there's a midnight parade carrying caskets of the fallen, and it is just a absolute heartbreaking piece of footage. And it was impossible as a conservative Christian for me to be watching that film without just breaking down into tears and asking myself the hard questions of what kind of God, what kind of society, what kind of world is this happening in, and how can I possibly maintain these ignorant beliefs while these people are dealing with this?
Suffering.
Yeah, so for me it was hugely impactful. I heartily recommend the film, the book that it was based on. That's How to Survive a Plague. Absolutely gorgeous film.
Jesus, Christy, all I brought was softcore porn.
Right?
Now I'm feeling really bad about what my choices are.
Oh no.
But
give me more popcorn.
Let's
Yeah,
just
it's
say
not a popcorn flick, if we can use that term.
Me eat my feeling.